Hey everybody, on this episode of the Emerald City After Show, we're breaking down Season 1, Episode 5, Everybody Lies. Finally, the Dorothy meets the wonderful Wizard of Oz, but does that meeting go according to plan? Find out next.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, look at that. Breaking it up a little bit from our standard Wizard of Oz opening music here. To a little callback to a deep cut pop culture reference. You can sync up your Pink Floyd with your Wizard of Oz to enjoy. Hi everybody, welcome to the Emerald City After Show. This is the show, of course, where we're breaking down the entire season of Emerald City on NBC. I'm one of your hosts, Frank Moran. You can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie.
And how's it going? My name is Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D. Lane, and we are live in the chat. And thank you so much for joining us live. If you're not, it's all right. Comment down below in the video. Let us know what you thought of this particular episode.
That's right. And you can also like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and like Kari said, just hop on into the chat, and we'll be breaking down the latest episode, Everybody Lies.
It's House. That's what House says.
That's
He's
true.
like, everybody lies, which sadly is generally probably true.
Is that how you lead your life? Just by assuming
knowing that everybody lies?
Yes, just...
That sounds very pessimistic. But I would go with, think of all the things you have going on in your life that people have no idea about, and think that they probably have similar idea. So you can't make any assumptions.
That's true. Well, there were assumptions made. Yes, by plenty of people in this episode. We're 5 episodes in, and we finally get to something we've been building up the entire season.
Finally, at the Emerald City.
Yes, finally getting people in motion there. You know what? I feel like this is the episode where it just really made me realize that I am not feeling Lucas/Rowan, whatever. No, that storyline is just, I feel like all these storylines, I just don't see how they're connecting yet. And I feel like 5 episodes in, it's getting a little frustrating. Since seemingly we only have 5 episodes left.
Yeah, I mean, they've had some overlap in terms of how people have met each other, but yeah, how they come together in the big picture is a little vague right now, I'd say. Yeah.
So I guess we start off here. We've got our tribal guy that we met we saw again at the end of the last episode, who knocked out Dorothy with his boomerang.
Yeah, and someone commented on the last video. It's like, no, we didn't understand. We did not know it was one of the Munchkin people.
Yes.
I just more was like, why is he involved, and why did that witch hire him? Like, if only because he's met her. But then again, when she was at their town, whatever, their village, they did seem to care more about the witch who died, so maybe there's a connection between Witch of the West and them.
Yeah, it's
like a loyalty something.
It is interesting to think that, at least as far as we know, none of the 3 remaining witches, except for the Mistress of the South, who's dead now, but seems to be the most pleasant one. The 3 that we had, east, west, and north, not great people. Yeah, where's the good witch that we know from the classic movie and stuff?
It's sugar coated.
Sugar coated. There you go.
Yeah, it's all a lie.
But
see, everybody lies.
But he's delivering our Munchkin is delivering Dorothy to the Witch of the West.
Yes, and yes, Frank's feeling all right. Ivan asked if you're feeling all right.
Look at that.
And listeners, yes, that sexy voice is still Frank.
Hey guys, how are you? Look at that. Getting a little sexy for this special, super sexy episode, because we talked about bedpans and stuff, and it was very hot. Yes, chamber pots.
Yeah, exactly. Because they have no porta potties or a room to go to that's special.
Oh man!
I just love how that drains out essentially to the ocean, which, I mean, I guess the ocean's big enough to sort of dilute it, but it's like.
But well, all right, we'll get
at
to
least
that.
They didn't pour it in a river. They poured it into a sewer system, because at first I'm like, well, the river's not much better. Hope you don't live downstream.
Yeah, but then it just went out to the rocks.
Well, it was the rocks before the ocean, so maybe by the time
it catches the big chunks. Like
we're
dead
just
bodies
thinking about those important details
Yes.
of this show, but it's a world building thing. You're just like, wait, how do these?
But I'm also trying to figure out how that contraption works, because she goes into we're jumping so far ahead in this episode, but just for this point, where the old handmaiden goes into Dorothy's cell and then uses that to kind of flush the toilet, I guess.
And they lock it, which is interesting.
Yeah, so it's
how many people are coming back in that way that you need a lock on it, or how many people trying to escape that you need a lock on it?
Yeah, if they're handcuffed in the cell, you should be totally fine.
I mean, the only idea is maybe you conveniently and inconveniently designed your prison to have the sewer system and the prison in the same room.
Yeah.
So that's why you lock it.
But it also seemed weird,
Otherwise-
like, because nothing really happens. Like, Dorothy is able to leave through that and get
Yes.
outside, and
Not
everything's
wet.
fine. Not wet at all. But
Yep.
when the lady, the old handmaiden, gets tossed in there, it's almost like then that's when the toilet flushes. And I was like, how does, what? So where does everything
Well,
sitting
Dorothy
up in there?
stepped to the side. Yeah, and it's like
I don't
there's certain
understand
times of the day that you're allowed to.
all right. So yes, castle bathroom mechanics. I still don't understand. But
Yeah.
hopping back to the beginning of the episode, there we've got. So Dorothy's been delivered to the Witch of the West, and then we cut over to Jack and Lady Evan the King. And of course,
Yes.
I like how the king is like. We get definitely from that scene that he is not all there.
Oh, the king. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
In the carriage, he's like, "So who are you?" I'm like, "Oh."
I felt I get a feeling that I was not going to be thrilled with this episode in that scene for when they hit the bump and then Jack's hand
Oh,
flies
keep
across.
your hands to yourself.
Oh, that was just.
I just was like, then that's extremely poor design that little bump
Yes.
would make a part detach.
For what he does with that his mechanical body later in the
Later?
episode,
Yeah.
like that's
Nothing broke off in being hit, so having just I agree, that was a little bit. I'd be happier if he fell forward and like had
Yes.
his hand out to catch himself.
and then crushed her knee because he can't quite get that
Yeah.
grip strength. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so
Oops.
sorry, Lady
Yeah,
Ev.
or like whack. Yeah.
And then we also have the Wizard's Head Guard has brought Rowan and our little girl Sophia. Is that her name, Sophie?
Yeah, Sophie.
Yeah, back to his place so he can kind of hide out there. And we realized that wasn't really they were old friends, and somebody that he really respects. And
Yeah, for a second, I had to remind myself that they got separated at the end of the episode because the last thing I remember from the last episode is like them making out in the woods, and then I'm like, "Whoa, why are you with this guy again?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, he showed up, and they got separated, and she got knocked unconscious." And so, but I felt like I missed a scene when he's walking in with the little girl and going to the guy's place. I'm like, "Wow, you trust him real fast.
yeah,
Just because he knows you doesn't mean he's your friend."
this is the beginning of my just like what is Lucas's deal on this, because
Yes.
you know he doesn't knows what he's done. He's an amnesiac, doesn't understand anything that's happening.
And the thing is, anybody could lie to you and tell you what you've done.
Yeah.
And it's their perspective of what you've done.
And it goes from like, because at the end that scene ends with our captain of the guard. He collapses on the floor from the gunshot wound that he still has on his shoulder.
Which I'm like, really?
But then he cuts from that to all of a sudden he's with the wizard and the house doctor getting
Yeah.
the bullet extracted. Like that was a huge jump to go from like.
Well, you just said, "Promise me to stay here." That's an order. So he somehow
All right.
was able to get over there.
Great.
Oh, back to the prison cell. Whitney says maybe the smell is part of the prison experience. Yes. You know,
of
help
course.
those prisoners out.
Yeah, it's that doesn't make it hard to make that toilet wine that in that situation. If you're gonna lock the door,
Yes.
Come on now. Then we have the Witch of the West interrogating Dorothy. Wants to know if she's a good witch or bad, and no wrong answer, but no right answer either.
Oh, that was kind of painful. I was like, oh, they're gonna do the gunshot again. I don't think so, but that was nice how the clip fell out.
Yes.
Because I was like, wait, she's not out of bullets yet. We were doing the count last week. Well, whoa. She can't be out yet. But yeah, just that, like, if that witch has that ability to read memories in a way like that, why are you wasting your time asking questions? Just sit there and be like, all right, think about this thing. Okay, cool, thanks.
And I don't know if she needs to be able to have like some emotional, like somebody has to be able like in a calm, kind of emotionally connected space for
Maybe.
that to happen. But I wish they would explain that, because you're right. I understand like seeing what happens later in the episode. I'm like, well, why didn't you just do that right from the beginning?
Yeah.
And you'd have your answers.
And the thing is, how does she know what Dorothy's mother looks like?
That's also true.
Like, she would have done some other mind check-in thing first to be like, okay, that's what she looks like. Like, how do you know? Yeah, that was a little, well, okay. It's magic. You don't know.
That's right. And we also get to see, though, that Tip is there as well, although Dorothy
Yeah.
doesn't recognize Tip from the beginning, because
Not right
Tip's
away.
been through some changes.
Well, it's one of those, it was hard because when the character was first introduced, I immediately was like, there's something different. And I mean, she does look kind of the same. The hair, but having hair makes a big difference. If I was just, we'll talk about this on Box Office Breakdown, but I watched Resident Evil movies, and one character changing her hair, I was like, is that the same actress? Is it really? And it was, but she someone changing up their hair can make a huge difference. So like her not recognizing Tip and then also if you're expecting the other sex, you'd be like, wait a minute.
Wait, you.
But I like how much attitude Tip gives her of like, well, you don't recognize me, and you're just like, really? So your life was so good. You asked me to help you.
Oh,
that line. I was like, thank you, Dorothy, because she's like, you asked me to.
Yeah. She did not do anything that Tip did not ask to have done. Oh, that was very frustrating.
Yep.
But we also see the wizard. He is at the big dinner with the king and princess of Ev. And basically the idea is like, hey, we know that Forever Beast is coming back. And when he does, when the two moons become one, he's coming back and it's going to be worse than ever. But he wants to strike an accord there with the kingdom of Ev. Like, hey, you use your technological skills. Build us these weapons.
Yeah, help us out.
And we'll take care of the beast forever.
Because also, I think by this point, too, that the wizard has discovered the bullet. So he knows.
I think that happened a little. Did it happen a little later?
Well, we mentioned the guard, so.
Yeah, of course.
That's another reason for the wizard to lean toward technology, going, oh, yes, guns, bullets. That could kill something.
Yeah.
Like he leans that way, but whatever.
And we find out, though, that we get Lady Ev, though, kind of just stirring the pot. And we find out she's not a huge fan of the wizard as the episode progresses, but just stirs the pot right there with Glinda's girls, with Anna and Merwin. Like, there's two signs, both people are reading the signs, which one's right, which one's wrong.
Lady Ev definitely loved her thing. She's like, so you're the fool, you're the idiot, right? You're the dumb one? No, you're the dumb one. Oh, and that wizard gets his, don't you talk about my Anna that way. Like, oh, yeah. Someone else pointing in the chat, which I'm like, good point. When he says, since the Witch of the West disguised herself as Dorothy's mom, the mom probably isn't the South then, right? Because if the West does Dorothy's mom as a disguise, if she does know it's the South, she would have been like, wait a minute, and like had some sort of reaction to it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a possibility. Because we had thought maybe her mom is the Witch of the South, but maybe not.
No, from what we found out at the end of the episode, I guess maybe not.
I'm guessing not now.
But speaking of our witches, though,
yes.
For every time that this show can kind of frustrate me, they'll do like those little moments with that I liked, and just the way that the Witch of the West communicates with the Witch of the North.
That was cool.
Yeah, I thought that was really awesome.
Which phone call?
Yeah, exactly.
No, which Skype?
That which Skype? Yes, because you see the
like
face. Yeah. But I thought that was
and then
cool.
how you hang up, I'm done.
Yeah, that was it. All right, bye-bye.
It's all right, peace out. Yeah, and then what else at the dinner? Just
But I wonder like how it is from the Witch of the North's perspective. Like all of a sudden how does she feel like some kind of summoning? Like, so she's just like talking straight ahead, and does she see the Witch of the West at all?
Right. We don't know.
Yeah. Some towel just appears in front of her face as well. Like, wait, what's happening?
No, I don't think so. I think either she just sees something like in her mind's eye, or maybe in standard kind of witch lore, in a reflective surface like a mirror or water or something like that.
There you go. You're going back to the dinner, though.
Yes, I was going to say the other thing at the dinner is how Lady Ev just was asserting how she doesn't, does whatever she wants and doesn't, like, darn, I don't know the word, but she's like in charge, and that's her moment where she's essentially asserting her dominance, and then Wizard doesn't like it, but then later calls back and like, oh wait, because you're like actually in charge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because she
doesn't answer to anybody. There we go.
He does give her that little smackdown there. It's like,
you child, know your place, and she's like, oh really? No. Oh. Yeah, really? Okay.
This is not gonna end well for you, Wizard.
No, it is not. Yes.
And so, what I do like this, and we have a scene then with Tip and the Witch of the West, and we see they had this nice little connection there. The Witch of the West is certainly fond of Tip for whatever reason, her new plaything, like the new bright shiny object.
Toy.
Yes. Yeah. And we see another woman come in and ask to go get the chamber pot, and like, don't look at her. No. And who is that? Oh, that's the old Jew. And I'm like, oof, man, great.
Oh, and the other one's like.
I know I'm doing the toilet. That's my job. I'm carrying
She's
urine.
Like, this sucks.
Oh, but you're right. Like that scene made me think. Like, I guess you're a witch. Is the best way to use a restroom is just a pot in a room? You can't think of anything better.
That's what they used to do a long, long time ago.
But yeah, you got magic on your side. Come on now. Think of
Yeah,
something
you
else.
think of something better.
Yeah.
A little more glamorous.
More glamorous, yeah.
And
all
squatting
right.
over bed. First thing in the morning. Oh.
And then, of course, our little girl, she wakes up Lucas there. You know, I'm also, there was just like, that storyline is just like, what is Lucas's and this
I
girl's?
just didn't like him leaving the little girl. I'm like, whoa,
Yes.
you go to all this effort to protect her. He is so dedicated on protect her. And then he's like, all right, I'm going to turn myself in. Good luck finding Dorothy. I'm going to leave you alone in a city. Yeah, that totally makes sense. That's where I checked out a bit. I was like, what?
And I don't understand, like,
Or at least he'd be like, okay, hey, I'm going to go in with you guys, but I have to find somebody to take care of this child.
yeah. That was so weird to me, why he did
Yeah.
that 180 on all of this.
Yeah, that was very strange.
And that we had not seen hide nor hair of Toto for a while, but then all of a sudden just happens to find Sophie in the city, abandoned.
Yeah.
Happens to come in and I'm like, oh, where have you been all episode, Toto? You just all of a sudden decided to
Yes.
show up now?
Toto finally found her.
All right, great.
He's been tracking them for a while.
And
He's like, you guys feed me, so you know, which we never see, but
yeah,
poor dog.
we get a scene. I don't know what you thought of this moment there, where the witch goes back to Dorothy and starts interrogating her, but like levitating her up and just kind of putting her through some torture moves.
That was cool.
Yeah,
That's when Tip though started being like, okay, this isn't cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, because, I mean, she's not lying, which I like, too. She gets to that point. She's like, I don't know my mother. And she's like, how do you not know your mother? It's like, well, I'm not lying.
No, it's true. Like
So-
somebody that you never grew up with.
Her statement is true. You're just, you're understanding it wrong.
And we do find out that the witch of the mistress of the South, she gave birth to over 1,000 children before she died, and gave life to every witch in Oz.
Which now, to our knowledge, only 2 are left.
That is true.
Those are some really not good odds.
No, and
Nope.
curious. I find it hard to believe that there's only 2 left.
I'm like, really? There's none in hiding somewhere else? I think there's probably some more hiding. I don't think the wizard could have killed everybody, because even like the other kingdom of Ev, stuff happened there that didn't happen in Emerald City kind of idea. So there must be other kingdoms with other witches that like they're underground or hiding something.
Because with over 1,000 witches, and you already have your 4 directions of the globe there,
Yeah.
north, south, east, and west taken up. So there's, that's still, at least 996 other witches, if not a little bit more,
Right?
to hang out in that whole land. So
I don't think they're all dead. Do you think they're all dead?
I don't think so.
What do you guys think? Do you think they're all dead? I don't think so. I hope not.
But I am backtracking on my thought that
well-
Dorothy's a witch.
Yeah, that's true. And the fact that she can wear the gauntlets kind of makes me lean that way too. But the other thing too is Witch of the North pointed out to South. She's like, you're the only family I have left. Which I'm like, well, it could be also one that you know of.
Yeah.
There could be more and you just don't know about them. We don't know.
Because I think there are magical practitioners inside the prison abject.
Oh, right. There could be people trapped there.
Yeah. So I think if they were released,
Yeah.
there would be some more magic users.
Could be.
Yeah. So I guess maybe the only 2 that are currently not being held prisoner somewhere.
Yes.
But we see at the end of that scene, though, that's when the Witch of the West sees the magic gauntlets for the first time on Dorothy and tries to take them for herself, and it
Not
does
so
not go
good.
well. No.
It's like grabbing an electric fence.
Yeah, but I don't, I want to know why.
I want to think it's you can't take them off of, if someone's wearing them, you can't take them off of somebody.
They're only given through the passing of death and to,
Yeah.
to the person nearest them when they die.
Who is an acceptable match? I want to think there's more of a requirement to you.
It wasn't Dorothy just happened to be that close, be the closest one to her when she died.
No. Like, I don't think if Lucas was standing there, he would have gotten them.
Okay. That
So
makes
there
sense.
I hope there's something special about Dorothy that it got on her. But always everyone's so surprised of like, how do you have them?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think they just go to anybody.
Because if they did, I guess you would just then kill
Ooh,
Dorothy and then stand right next to her.
Also, that's where some of the magic could be. Dorothy, in her like agitation towards Witch of the West, in her doing an aggressive move to Dorothy, that could be almost a reflex, like a knee-jerk defensive move. That'd
That's
be
true.
kind of cool. That'd be a little bit of Dorothy powers,
I
maybe.
But I mean, she got those in the first episode.
Yeah.
Now episode 5, and we still have no idea what these gauntlets do exactly. And why they
And she doesn't know how to use them. Nope.
and why they appear and sometimes disappear on her. We have no idea. And that's like, man, 5 episodes in, we still don't know what the deal is. It would be cool just to know what's going on.
Yeah. A little bit.
No, just a little bit. I don't need to know every answer.
Yes.
Just come on. I feel like they keep just giving us more teases, but not a lot of answers.
Yeah.
I'm just like, come
It's
on.
only episode 5. They got 5. They got a few more.
Great. So I do like that the wizard wants the technological support from the king, and the king of Ev just says, well, you know what, I'll do that, but if you can give me my dog Randall back. He died last year. I think last year. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We give him back.
And the wizard is like, oh, yeah, you're not all there, are ya?
Oh, yeah. And
Then he has to go, like, speaking of dogs, he has to go with his tail between his leg back to the princess of, like, so, my bad. You're kind of running the kingdom, aren't ya?
Oh. And
She's like, oh, yeah, thanks.
and she's not a fan. As she said, when the wizard saved Emerald City, she left the kingdom of Ev just to fall to the beast forever, and it got flooded. So her city flooded, her people flooded, her mother got drowned. So now all she wants now...
Just a little bit of a grudge.
Gosh,
just a little chip on the shoulder. Understandably so.
Yeah. To see Emerald
So yeah,
City
you
get
saved
flooded.
Emerald City. That was fantastic. But you let my city die. So I hope you die. I want you to feel the pain. You're like, oh, okay.
Well, she's she's doing it there. So it looks like the wizard is quickly realizing that he is not going to be getting a lot of help.
Nope.
Because pretty
Not
much
from her.
No, it's amazing. Like he seems like he's pretty much alienated everybody in Oz.
Yeah, he doesn't really do a good job being a leader of getting, if you want help later from anybody.
Yeah.
So, no.
I feel like he burns all his bridges in getting to what he
Just a
needs,
little,
and then when he
you know.
needs everybody else, like you.
They're like, yeah, about that. No. No. They're like, you're funny.
Yeah. The only one that he hasn't burned a bridge with yet, though, is Anna. I don't know what the deals with those two, but there's some kind of connection.
Oh. Okay, Whitney, you've been doing a lot in the chat room that I like your comments. J.K. Rowling said that Hogwarts students used to do their business wherever they wanted and then use magic to get rid of it. So as in, like, your bathroom stuff.
Oh. Yeah,
I
well,
like that. Yeah, see?
is that
like
because
you
they're
could
too afraid of Moaning Myrtle to go into the other bathroom?
Well, if you're somewhere and then maybe you don't have the bathroom.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't know.
That's... but then I feel like then magic becomes a crutch. Like you're just too lazy to walk that 40 feet to the bathroom. I'll just do it here.
Yeah.
Just because you
Well,
can doesn't
middle
mean
of the
you
night,
should.
do you really want to get out of, like, go far away from your nice, comfy bed?
So I'm just gonna, I'll just be myself, clean it up. There you go.
No, not that. I was going to get out of bed. But yeah, anyway. Sky says in the chat, is Sophie magical? Oh yeah, no, I totally think so. She did this stuff to the people who like were trying to kidnap her.
Yeah, and as Lucas
We don't
before
know
he leaves,
details, yeah.
Yeah, he does make her promise.
And he's all no magic.
Yeah.
As if she can control it. Hers is definitely stress induced for sure.
Yeah, because she has that scene there where Lucas and her are in the Emerald City looking for Dorothy because she feels like Dorothy's in the city somewhere. So that's where we can find her.
She knows because it's in her heart. So I think she has magic locating ability in a way too.
Yeah, and when Lucas, just to kind of keep undercover, puts on one of those masks.
Because it's the Festival of the Beast. Haha,
That's
how
right.
convenient.
She does get startled by that. So it's questioning, like, is that just because it's a scary mask or because it's reminiscent of the Beast forever that's what's startling her?
She might not be used to masks. I mean, if you go really basic of just, oh my gosh, you've disappeared. Like Peekaboo, like, wait, where'd your face go? And then he's like, no, it's still me. She's a little kid and also very traumatized, I would say.
I guess. It just, I find it so weird.
It could remind her of something else. We don't know.
Just because it was the last episode, she just took that food from the two weirdos that tried to act like
That was strange, yeah.
And she just went with them so nonchalantly.
And then she killed him.
Yeah. So I just...
No bigs. You know.
Yep. Again, another question that I would love just some answers for because I have no idea.
Answers? You want answers? What?
The one you go to the answer to is the wizard.
Yeah.
So then we see the...
and Mombi was a witch. Good point. Jared said that. I'm like, yeah. No, she definitely is a witch. Said it in the books. I'm like, no, did magic, so that counts as a witch.
Yeah. The Witch of the West. Did you buy into this ruse at all?
What?
As soon as Dorothy's mom gets thrown into the cell.
No. As soon as Tip threw someone in there, I'm like, Tip can't throw someone that far.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's totally fake. And I'm like, nope, I didn't believe it one bit. And as soon as she started saying stuff, it's like, well, actually, even more so because that woman was not affectionate to Dorothy yet at all. So for her to suddenly be like, oh, sweetie, dearie, honey, and like touching her, I'm like, no way. They hadn't even really spoken at all in person. They had that one meeting.
Yeah. And she'd been...
So for her to immediately go like that, no, I didn't buy it at all.
No. So that made me think, like, Dorothy, come on, you're better. You're smarter than this.
Yeah.
You've had these gut instincts.
She does, yeah. But she's not used to magic or even, like, glamour magic of disguise, so... being tortured. Take it for granted. You know, she can't take anything for granted the way she would, like, on Earth.
That's very true. Going back when the old handmaiden went into the cell the first time to get rid of the waste in there, I mean, basically setting up everything we need to know was going to happen in that room, I wasn't sure between her or Tip which one was going to be the one that was going to help spring Dorothy.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
I was like, okay, because I wasn't quite sure at that point in the episode, at least, if like the old handmaiden was just going to be like, well, clearly I want to get back at the Witch of the West. I'm going to let you up
like,
because...
screw it? Yeah. Well, actually, even when she overheard Tip, I thought she would do more there. Like, oh, interesting, there's more to this story. And no, I didn't think she would help her. I thought Tip would come around eventually.
Because Tip goes back to the cell, and when Dorothy says, she's going to kill me when she comes back, and then they go into what you're saying, that whole line about, like, I did everything for you because you asked me to. Mm-hmm. And doing that was the worst mistake, that worst thing that could ever happen to me. I don't want that same thing to happen to you. Like,
you should have just left me there. Yeah, and then also when the Witch of the West is, like, interrogating the two witches, I'm like, you're going to believe this new toy you have. Essentially, she is her toy. You're going to believe her over this person who's been working for you for a while, probably. Yeah. And you're going to believe... What? Though, I almost wondered if Tip has some magic because the other servant was kind of like, hey, read into her soul or something and you'll know who's telling the truth. And so when she goes over to Tip and kind of does, like... kind of has a look or something and then it's like, you're the liar. So then I'm like, is Tip that good at lying... or like essentially faking a lie detector test, or does she have magic that she kind of had like this bubble of like, no, I'm totally fine, I didn't lie to you? Because she immediately was like, nope, you're dead, gone, out.
Man, are you...
So then I wonder if Tip has some magic.
Does this lack of any answers about this, about like Tip, about Sophie, about Dorothy, and so about Lucas, does the lack of answers this far in bother you at all, or you're like, no, I'm cool?
Not, you just take your time. Got some more to go.
How many more episodes could they go before you start going like, just give me an answer for something?
Well, I hope they give some more in the next one.
If they get up to episode 8 and they still haven't answered some of these questions, are you going to be going? Because I'll be going bonkers by that point. I don't have some answers by at least episode 8.
That'll be season 2.
And it's like
that's what some people are saying in the chat. They're like, maybe season 2.
No, oh boy, it's because it's.
Apparently people are saying Sylvie, not Sophie.
So my apologies, guys.
Sylvie, but S child.
Yeah, I don't need all the characters in the episode to know, but it'd be nice if like at least the audience has an idea of like what the heck's this game plan.
Well, I think we're in like Dorothy's position. We don't really know any plans yet.
I'm frustrated with that because sometimes that does work. Where you need to have the patience and trust the producers, the writers, their vision to get you through the end.
That you're hoping that they know what they're... Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, like, I had that with Westworld where, like, you went a while, actually, though, without getting real answers. So, not spoilers, guys, but just so you know, hang in there, because there's, like, I'd almost say it wasn't until, like, there wasn't huge reveals till almost, like, after episode 5. It was like the second half is where they're like, here's the major questions that you've been kind of wondering about. So I'm thinking it's okay for a little bit because there's nothing where I think the only thing that really bugged me again in this episode was Lucas ditching the little girl. That was the only like, whoa, you totally had changed character, or at least bring her with you.
Yeah.
Something like, okay, she has to come with us. I'm not like something like that. I can't leave her alone. I know you're taking me in. Could have had any line to explain like, there's a child here. Can we do something about it? Yeah. No, I didn't like that.
And I do like it when Lucas does get escorted in, that the captain of the guard doesn't even mention like, wait, where's that little girl that you were carrying around too? Where's she at?
Ooh, this is Renji says in the chat, maybe Sylvie was in the box that Lucas killed the soldiers over in the caravan.
Oh, maybe.
That's a good point. And that would kind of establish how she's so attached to him, maybe.
Well, that could be.
Maybe. That's very interesting.
But we also find out, though, that once the West impersonates Dorothy's mom, she's able to kind of read her mind and get the idea that...
And why didn't you do that sooner?
Yeah, that Glinda has not been up and up about, like, saying that she hasn't seen the Witch of the East for a while.
But I like that she didn't continue and see how Dorothy killed her sister.
Yeah.
She stopped the memories. It's like, and pause. And you're like, wait, you didn't get to the important part. What?
There's more
Well,
you gotta
I was going
know.
to say, and speaking of watching, then when she gets to watch Glinda and the Witch of the East together.
Yeah, man, you know...
Which they look like they had a fight.
They do, but I still like that visual of the way that they're like that kind of cool monkey
Crank
drone.
it.
Yes,
Yes.
that's just really cool. I do like
Or
that.
there's things like that where like they're really cool things in the episode and they're like, wait, bring it back.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I did like that. But the other plot we haven't really even talked much about too is Lady Ev and Jack and their relationship. Kind of really put that on fast forward in this episode. Like it's weird. Like I think like every episode that Jack, every storyline that Jack has is like on fast forward because in one episode he goes from a man broken to getting pretty much a semblance of being able to walk around in this new mechanical body.
Right.
To now being in like some kind of weird servitude for his new mechanical body to all of a sudden making out with the girl at the end of the episode. Like
he's a young man. She's a pretty woman. And he got turned down by the other pretty woman
That's
he
right.
knows. So, well, I think I'm okay with it because I mean the conversation that he had with her about like what am I to you? I like that he finally kind of stood up for himself and was like, well, okay, wait, can we just like get this clear? What am I to you? And then she's like, you're my friend. And then he's like, do you even know what a friend is? Like that was a nice discussion. And then she's like, oh, okay, fine. Well, they do things together. Do you want to go to, she doesn't actually say like, do you want to go with me?
Yeah.
But the hand gesture was fine. And then they get to hang out a little bit. And even his moment of like, hey, can I see what's under the mask? And she said, we can when we're friends. And I think he kind of liked that moment that he's like, all right, cool. We're making progress. And then the, the adrenaline of the fight and her like, no, I'm not afraid of you. That's awesome. And like, that was her way of like thanking him too, I'd say. I mean, some people in the chat are like, whoa, like age thing is a bit too much for them. But, whatever.
But I mean, I'm also thinking of a woman that, a princess of whatever age she is, but she saw her mother drowned in the city when it was destroyed. I mean, her father is kind of a shell of his former self.
Yeah.
I
think she's just lonely. And often that's a storyline with princes and princesses that they don't have normal friends. Like maybe the only people that are normal friends are like the children of like the servants or something. Because they don't get a chance to interact maybe with like other people. Like just when they're doing the storyline, like I've been in my castle and I don't talk to other people. So they don't have like other children to hang out with.
So she didn't have any friends, so she made her own.
Yeah.
That's all right. There you go.
She made robots.
Yeah,
I actually almost had a moment that I'm like, is her dad a robot that she made? Like because of how he was talking weird. I'm like, no, he's just losing his mind a little bit. Because some people in the chat are saying like, well, you could maybe be overestimating her age, guys, because some people are saying that like he's maybe like 16 or something, which I'm like, that's fine for Tip. I mean, not Tip. Man, I'm like so bad
Jack.
with words today. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like 16, I'm like, I can buy that. Her, I'm like, some people are like saying she's like late 20s. I'm like, nah, I can go with she's like 20 to 22.
I mean, it's tough
Young
about
princess.
that mask.
We can't see her face too, and we don't know, and whatever. So like that's only a couple years older, but I thought I was okay with that. But he wasn't making out back. Like she kissed him, and he's kind of like, oh, cool. And then he's like, yeah, friends don't do that. But then she does. Her line is the moving fast.
That's right.
But her. Like she's just used to having what she wants and whatever. But if it's his response that makes things normal for us, the viewer, where he could be like, okay, hold on. Like, you seem hot. Though that dress thing was weird. I'm sorry. That like plastic part that was skin, I did not like that at all. It looked so weird. But I like that it was weird.
Yeah.
And then the second outfit Witch of the West had, I love that with like the green. I've seen jewelry with them. They're like, I think they're like beetle shell things. I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember, guys. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about. I've seen them like at markets and things like that, and people sell different jewelry. So to see a whole dress made out of it, I thought was really cool. Because like I think the witches should have abnormal clothing, and it should be kind of decadent for them.
Yeah.
Because they do pride themselves on their appearance.
especially Glinda, all prim and proper. When she comes in to kind of finally like, hey, let's meet this woman that killed our sister. The West kind of lets slip like, oh, I've been talking to her a little bit, but you know, hey, what's up? But of course, Dorothy by that point has escaped through the help of Tip. And I do like Tip just throws that old handmaiden just under the bus. Like, no, I don't know what she's talking about. I was getting your tea. See you later.
She's like, I've been here the whole time. Quick rewind question, though, of people thought maybe her face could have gotten an issue with when the Beast Forever was here. How long ago did they say was the Beast Forever?
I can't remember.
Some people are saying, like, 20 years or something like that. So the idea is if, you know, she was a child then, so, like... But she doesn't remember, so she could be like 3. So, okay, she's like maybe 25.
Yeah.
Maybe, but
and,
either way, whatever.
You know, it's, you know, but, you know, I think Jack, now since he's
they are
3/4...
Beatles shows, yeah.
Yeah, since Jack's 3/4 metal man, we just got to figure out how old that metal is. So that metal could be a lot older. So that bumps up Jack's age. So
I don't know, but then that's the like age and sexist thing of like, is it weirder when it's an older woman, young man, or is because if it was an old dude, which we're all creeped out by the wizard with Anna. But he's just creepy anyways. Like, they don't seem that far in age. But, like, this woman to, like, young Jack, like, is it weird or not? I mean, in this world, Jack's a consenting adult. But whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's going to be more of an emotional relationship. Because I don't know if Jack's got all the parts. So, I don't know.
Yeah, some people are saying, like, 20 years ago. So, okay, so, like, and then if she doesn't remember, I want to say she's under 5. Was under 5 when the Beast was there before, so I'd say she's like 22, 23.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go with that.
That's fine.
So
no, we'll find out when we get that mask off.
That's right. So we do have the wizard at least finding his one person that he can rely on, Anna, showing her the bullet. It's like, this could help us.
Oh, that was actually really creepy how he was positioned in front of her, how his hand was like right in front of her boob. And I'm like, what is your hand doing? And then he opened and you're like, oh, okay. And he's standing so close to her.
I know. Always.
Oh, it so creeps me out.
It's only going to be a matter of time before they kiss. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Vomit.
It's going to happen.
No.
But we see a lot of scenes, shots of Dorothy walking around. She finally, very easily, makes her way into the castle.
Oh, she walks right in. But it's the festival. All the guards are distracted.
Like, really? Okay.
Yes.
I didn't even see a guard for her to be distracted.
Castle guards, you suck. This is like Shannara Chronicles. Castle guards are horrible at the castle. You can just sneak right in and get anything.
Yeah, she walked all the way in. Here's some Pink Floyd playing. Turns off the radio and pulls a gun on the wizard.
Well, she's surprised to find the radio.
Yeah. Well, I think
it's a cassette player.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I think if like anything playing something from your Earth, like
you're like, and then the music too. She's like, Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
How do you know that? Mask, and he's like. Yeah, you know my mother, and then she's like, oh man, his reaction, I'm like, is he her dad? I hope not.
I don't like, all we know is like, Dorothy, you've come home.
Yeah.
So I think that is a perfect time for us to predict who we think the wizard is to Dorothy.
Man.
From executives.
There you go. The executives are weighing in on these predictions. No worries. So,
And now, your AfterBuzz
I mean, the
TV.
other thing, too, is what Lady Eve has going on in her mask. Though with the different masks that she's had, I feel like you've seen a whole lot of her face, too. That I'm like, it can't be that bad. But it could be some sort of enchantment or something.
True.
I think there has to be more to it. Oh, I hope there's more. Okay. I really hope that he's not her dad. Oh, please, no. I really hope that the wizard's not Dorothy's dad. But it's a leading statement. I think it could be leading us to think that. Because just because he says you're home doesn't necessarily mean, like, oh, you're my child. It could be he knew her mother and knew... Or his friend is, like, the father of Dorothy. Like, some friend of his that's no longer around.
Yeah, I would think that maybe Dorothy's mom was maybe one of Glinda's girls that kind of fell and got pregnant.
Okay.
Whether it might be the wizard or somebody close to the wizard. So that's what I can think. And so because we always wonder what happens to that girl that was pregnant in the first episode.
What happens to him?
Maybe she was so worried she fled back to our Earth.
And that would make sense
Dorothy.
that he would know and expect the child and know some connection there.
Yeah.
I like that thought.
Oh, all right.
You're like, oh, yeah. Yeah, everyone's like, oh no, I hope not. Yeah, I hope he's not her father. I'm curious. I don't think Jack and Lady Eve will really be a thing. Ev will be a whole thing, but I think he's gonna help her be more normal, if you will.
I guess, but we got to figure out, like, what is that Lady Evan, their stake in their kingdom, how that figures into the Return of the Beast Forever.
Yep. I still think the Beast Forever could still be Dorothy.
I get, but it's also weird too because only the wizard seems really concerned about it. Some people, like last episode, we felt like the Beast Forever is like a necessary thing of Oz. It's a purge that has to happen, and that's just part of life. Well, she's the purge to get rid of the wizard. Ha ha! Yeah. No, I don't know. It's weird for him to be so riled up for something that not everybody else is concerned with. And I guess only for the sense that he could lose his power base, I guess.
Yeah.
But
ooh, here's a good prediction. Jared said maybe the wizard and Dorothy's mom came to Oz together. So not necessarily like they were in a relationship together, but they came to Oz.
That's true.
That's a good idea.
Oh, yeah, and they got split up, and she became a Glinda's girl. She got thrown in the orphanage.
Or something,
and they got recruited as an Glinda girl, and maybe their brother and sister.
Ah, that could be a thing, too.
Yeah, he could be an uncle instead, so not a father.
Oh, and the Google Box says, I think, referring to Lady Ev, she's playing Jack. No, I think she's just that clueless of how to deal and interact with people on a regular basis. So she's like, friends? What do friends do?
Yeah, it's weird.
I think she has a screw or two loose.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see if we are going to get anything that's going to take us in the direction of like seeing the Scarecrow, the Cowardly Lion. We're seeing a bit of the Jack, the Tin Woodsman, but just something that's a little bit more iconic to the things that we associate with Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, we're waiting for those other characters. Where are they? I still think the guard guy's the lion.
All right.
But maybe this will be him leaving the guard, seeing what happened to his friend, is why he leaves the guard. They'll refer to him as a coward because he left.
But he fights like a lion.
Exactly.
That's right.
Sure. Come on, baby.
All right. Yeah. So, folks, that's going to do it for this episode of the Emerald City After Show. But you know what, folks? You can like us on Facebook, give us those 5 big stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And everybody, thanks so much for hopping in the chat room, sharing your thoughts and speculations about this series. And, Kari, if they're watching this later and they can't comment in a live time, what can they do?
Oh, my gosh, guys. Guess what you can do? You can comment down below. Leave comments. Let us know what you thought about the episode. What are your predictions and the stuff we talked about? What are your opinions? Because, you know, it's a discussion. We're fans like you guys, and we want to keep the discussion going. And if you do want to keep the discussion going, you can reach out to me online at Kari D. Lane. That's KARIDLANE on Twitter and Instagram. And you can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie. Folks, we'll be back here next Sunday night with another episode. Well, actually, yeah, I think even for the Super Bowl, I'll double check. Well, we'll talk. I guess we're going to talk. We're going to be back next time, though. See you guys. See ya. From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV. Buzz you later. The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.